something called a chain of title investigations. Now, why we do this is because the banking industry has completely clouded every American's home ownership ability with the creation of things like MIRS, which is called Mortgage Electronic Registration System. They have clouded the home ownership of every American homeowner. And what we want to do is be able to clear that record for the homeowners in this country. Now, how do we do that? We do that with a chain of title investigation. There are 3 parts to this investigation. We first will have it done, what we will have done is something called a forensic mortgage loan audit. What that does is it goes through all of the closing, pre-closing, post-closing documents to make sure that the banks complied with both federal and state consumer protection rules and regulations. This was designed to protect the individual consumer from these sophisticated investment vehicles. We then will have a securitization audit done. That securitization audit will help us discover where that mortgage is in the secondaries mortgage market. Now, why is that fundamentally important? Because the banks are required to keep a clear and concise chain of custody of ownership in the public records. When they don't do that, they cloud your mortgage. Now, the reason that we want to do that securitization audit is we want to see who actually owns this loan and how did they get there. Now, we do that because we want to know where it went from point A to point B, to point C, to point D, and so on and so forth. Now, I know many of you have probably heard very many articles out there where Bank of America's foreclosed on homes that they don't own. They foreclosed on homes that were paid off 5 or 6 years ago. And this is fundamentally wrong in this country. And then what we'll do is we have former police officers that we hire as private investigators to then pull all of the public records and conduct background checks on everybody who has signed those documents. Now, what we have found is that many of them have criminal records, aren't in existence at all, died 3 years ago in Oklahoma, and are now suddenly resurrected and signing documents in California, authorizing the foreclosure of a home. And some of them don't exist at all. We can't validate that this person is a living, breathing entity at all. I know many of you have heard the term robo-signers. We have a list of over 1,250 robo-signers in this country right now that are signing anywhere from 5 to 6 to 1,000 documents a day, allowing these banks who do not own these mortgages to foreclose on the American homeowner. There's been a term lately, it went from the American dream to the American nightmare. And our job as private investigators here in the state of Texas, as well as here in the state of Nevada and all around the country, is to clear those records so that the homeowners can get back to the original position they should be in. And I'm very proud to say that many of our reports have actually cleared the debt on those houses. And there are quite a few homeowners who now own their homes free and clear due to the nature of our investigation reports. Thank you. Now, some of you may ask, why are we here at this particular convention talking about this? And that is because the sheriffs have the constitutional powers to stop these illegal foreclosures. Now, we as American citizens have a duty to give them the information that they need in order to do that. And that's what we do as a company, and we're glad to do that for the American people, and we're glad to do that for the homeowners. I have a very sad story where we helped a gentleman who was in Afghanistan. They refused to accept his power of attorney from his sister, threw all of his stuff out into his front yard 4 days before he returned from Afghanistan. Now, luckily enough, he had some great neighbors, and they actually did guard duty for 4 days to keep his stuff safe so that nobody was pilfering through his stuff. We were able to do a chain of title investigation and show where the banks never had the authority to do it in the first place. And I'm glad to say that he is back in his house, and he is successfully fighting the banks for damages right now. As an organization, as a private investigation company, we are looking to create a bridge between what we do and with the sheriffs to show them that these individuals may not have the power to do that. Now, when they file these records into the public records, which is also a constitutionally created office, your county records is a constitutionally created office. They have committed in many states felonies. We've got grand larceny, forgeries. These are all elements that can be used to defend the home from these unscrupulous banks. And I would encourage each and every one of you to grab a card on back there that we have available for you, as well as a small information packet. I'm trying to keep this very quick for some of the other speakers, and where we can explain a little bit more in depth of what we do, how we do it, and the processes that you as individuals can go through, not only with your county recorder, but also your local state judges, to get rid of these bad loans and to free up that cloud on your title. Now, we have a saying in the offices that we talk about, if 120 million homes, which have been clouded, their titles have been clouded, if 120 million homes went free and clear, because we already paid them off with the TARP funds, remember that, guys. We paid off every mortgage in this country with the TARP funds. If every home went free and clear, about 120 million of them, at about $1,000 a pop, what do you think the economic boom would look like in this country? It would be phenomenal. That's what we hope to accomplish as private investigators for the American people in conjunction with the sheriffs in this country. Thank you.